Have you ever wondered how ancient civilizations knew health secrets we're only beginning to understand? This video will reveal the mysteries of ancient medicine that still amaze us with their understanding of nature and humanity. Get ready to discover how wise people from the past healed without modern technology and how this knowledge can change your life. At the end of the video, we'll reveal a surprising fact that will change your perspective on health. Stay tuned until the end so you don't miss it. One of the oldest branches of knowledge, which appeared at the early stage of human development, is medicine. People have always sought ways to maintain their health by studying the nature around them and observing the effects of environmental factors. In this close connection with nature, they discovered the beneficial and harmful properties of plants, animal products, and minerals. The knowledge accumulated over centuries became one of the most important branches of human knowledge medicine. As society developed, knowledge about health and healing improved. Some of the first written monuments were medical writings preserved in ancient cultures such as Egypt, Greece, Rome, Iran, India, and Tibet. These documents hold an honorable place in the history of medical science, serving as important sources of information about ancient treatment methods. The influence and exchange of medical knowledge between different cultures played a significant role in the development of medicine. Despite the traditions and secrets of individual medical schools, written works became accessible to a wider audience. Translations into other languages enriched the medicine of other peoples, making it an international science. The history of Tajik medicine is a vivid example of such mutual enrichment. It was based on knowledge from ancient Eastern cultures, such as Babylonian and Egyptian, as well as Greek medicine. During the Sassanid and Abbasid eras, the works of Indian medics were translated into Middle Persian and Arabic, contributing to the spread of knowledge. Great scholars and doctors like Avicenna ibn Sina and Abu Bakr Muhammad ibn Zakaria al-Rasi made significant contributions to the development of medical knowledge. They utilized the works of other cultures, including Indian, and made them accessible for their time. For example, the commentary of the Indian medic Sushruta was included in the great work Al-Hawai, the Comprehensive Book, written by al-Razi. Ancient civilizations understood the importance of regulating medical practice. In the laws of the Babylonian king Hammurabi, created more than 2,000 years ago, there were already paragraphs regulating the activities of doctors. The Ebers Papyrus from Egypt mentioned recipes for treating various diseases and rules for examining patients, indicating the development of medical knowledge at that time. Arab and Tajik Persian medicine developed under the strong influence of Greek medicine. This can be seen in the recognition of the four elements or nature's air, water, fire, and earth. Each element corresponded to a certain humor in the human body, such as blood, lymph, bile, and black bile. These elements played a key role in ancient medicine, shaping the approach to treatment. In Indian medicine, 5 elements were recognized, including ether, a subtle matter that affects all living beings. The primary humors in Indian medicine were bile, lymph, and air. Interestingly, in Tibetan medicine, which was influenced by Indian practices, these 3 main humors were also recognized. In Indian and Tibetan medicine, the 3 main humors bile, lymph, and air have much deeper meanings. Bile is considered the main factor affecting blood circulation and metabolism. Lymph cools and moisturizes the body. Air, or gaseous matter, is seen as the vital force that drives the nervous system and supports life itself. Chinese medicine, however, is based on entirely different principles. It primarily recognizes 2 fundamental elements: the male and female principles. The male principle is active and stimulating, while the female principle slows down movement and activity. Additionally, Chinese medicine acknowledges 5 elements: water, earth, fire, metal, and wood. Unlike other systems, these elements are not directly linked to bodily fluids but to different organs. Water corresponds to the kidneys, earth to the spleen, fire to the heart, metal to the lungs, and wood to the liver. It's essential to note that each Eastern medical system had numerous schools and directions, each focusing on specific aspects of theory or practice. The range of remedies used in these systems varied significantly, influenced by their theoretical foundations and the natural resources available in their regions. For example, the use of specific plants, animals, and minerals as medicine depended on what was available locally. Medical texts from different regions often highlight different properties of substances, plants, and animals due to variations in climate, living conditions, and dietary habits. For instance, what might be considered a beneficial substance in one region could have a different effect in another. Indian medical texts often contain distinctions not found in the medical books of Central Asia, Iran, or the Arab world, expanding our understanding of medicinal properties. Differences in determining the nature of substances also exist. In the Muhit al-Azam, the primary nature of certain substances is described differently depending on whether the perspective is Indian or Greek. For example, the nature of aconite bish is debated. Indian medics consider it cold in the 4th degree, while Greek medics regard it as hot and dry in the same degree. In Mujarabat Akbar's Tested Remedies by Muhammad Akbar Arzani, it is noted that coffee is cold and dry, causing insomnia and weakening the nerves. However, despite these descriptions, Arabs consume coffee abundantly without negative effects. This difference is attributed to their diet, which is rich in dates that counterbalance the adverse properties of coffee. Let's delve deeper into the concepts of the 4 main humors kilt and nature's mizaj according to ancient Tajik Persian medicine. When food enters the mouth and before it is fully assimilated, it goes through 4 stages of transformation. These stages are referred to as the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th digestion stages. Each stage has its unique characteristics, producing specific useful substances and waste products, which are eliminated from the body through various means. The first stage of digestion occurs when food is chewed and mixed with saliva, forming a warm, mushy substance called chyle. The liquid part of the chyle moves to the liver, while the thicker part moves to the intestines, marking the end of the first stage. The second stage, or chyme, takes place in the liver, where the chyle is transformed into the 4 main humors: blood, lymph, bile, and black bile. The waste product at this stage is urine, excreted through the kidneys and bladder. The third stage of transformation occurs in the vessels, where the main humors are converted into the tissues and organs of the body, according to an individual's temperament. The dominance of a particular humor in a person determines their temperament. The fourth stage occurs within the organs and tissues, where fluids transform into substances similar to the organ or tissue. The waste products, sweat, and oily secretions are eliminated from the body. Thus, the 4 main humors, blood, lymph, bile, and black bile, are liquid substances produced through the breakdown of chyle. Substances that have been fully processed by the body's natural heat and have risen to the surface are bile. The denser, sediment-like portion is black bile, while the middle part between the lighter and heavier layers is blood. The substances that remain unprocessed are lymph. The concept of nature or mizaj results from the interaction and mixture of these 4 humors. This interaction creates a balanced state, known as mizaj or nature, often referred to as temperament. From ancient times, the concepts of safra and savda have been described as yellow bile and black bile. However, these translations can be misleading, so we retain the original terms. When all 4 humors are perfectly balanced, creating an equilibrium where no single humor dominates, this state is called a truly balanced nature. Such a state is rare and never constant, as usually 1 or 2 properties, like heat or cold, prevail. A person's nature can be classified as simple when only 1 property, such as heat, cold, dryness, or moisture, dominates. These simple natures are of 4 types: hot, cold, dry, and moist. There are also complex natures where 2 properties dominate, resulting in 4 additional types: hot and moist, hot and dry, and cold and moist. Together with the rare balanced nature, these constitute the 9 basic types of natures in traditional medicine. The 4 main humors, blood, lymph or phlegm, safra, and savda, are believed to significantly influence the body's functions. For example, a hot nature can be due to an excess of either blood or safra. However, if safra dominates, the nature is hot and dry, while if blood dominates, it is hot and moist. Similarly, a cold nature can be due to excess lymph or savda. If lymph is dominant, the nature is cold and moist. If savda, it is cold and dry. When a single humor predominates, 2 properties are often more prominent. For instance, an excess of blood brings warmth and moisture, while an excess of lymph brings coldness and moisture. This interplay explains the existence of the 4 complex natures. On the other hand, simple natures arise when 2 opposing properties balance each other, leaving 1 property to dominate. For example, if the moisture from blood and lymph balances the dryness of safra and savda, and if the combined warmth of blood and safra exceeds the cold of lymph and savda, then a hot nature will prevail. The dominance of a humor can also be influenced by its quantity and quality. For example, an increase in blood volume without changes in its composition can lead to its dominance. Blood can become thicker or thinner, contain impurities, and so on. These factors can result in the dominance of a single property, albeit temporarily. Such dominance often leads to a shift back to a complex nature, where two properties prevail. For example, excessive coldness can lead to fluid retention, promoting the dominance of lymph with its cold and moist properties. Similarly, a hot nature can dry out the body's humors, leading to the dominance of saffra and a hot, dry nature. Unlike simple natures, complex natures are more stable and only change within certain limits. These changes can occur gradually over a person's lifetime, influenced by factors like age. The classification of people according to the dominance of one of the four humors has been a part of medical practice since ancient times, from Greek physicians to Arab, Tajik, and Persian scholars, and even into medieval European medicine. People with a sanguine temperament, dominated by blood, are lively, active, cheerful, and enthusiastic. Those with a phlegmatic temperament, dominated by lymph, are calm, slow-moving, and less expressive. People with a choleric temperament, dominated by saffra, are energetic, quick-tempered, and fiery by nature. These descriptions help us understand ourselves and others, providing insight into our behaviors and tendencies. Understanding these ancient concepts can empower us to achieve balance and harmony in our lives. By recognizing our dominant nature, we can take steps to balance it, such as adjusting our diet, lifestyle, and environment. For instance, a person with a choleric temperament might benefit from cooling foods and calming activities, while a phlegmatic person might seek stimulating experiences. The wisdom of ancient medicine teaches us that achieving balance is key to well-being. It's a journey of self-discovery and self-care. By embracing these timeless principles, we can enhance our physical and emotional health, leading to a more harmonious and fulfilling life. Remember, true health is not just the absence of disease, but a state of complete physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Let's strive for balance and harmony in all aspects of our lives. Continuing our topic, today we delve into the wisdom of ancient medical systems. They paid attention not only to the body but also to the soul, understanding that a person's health is the harmony of all their parts. Let's consider, for example, melancholics, people with an abundance of soda. Their subtle sensitivity and tendency toward deep reflection are not just character traits but part of their essence. Ancient doctors understood that treatment for them should be aimed not only at physical healing but also at maintaining inner balance. Ancient medicine taught us that every person is unique, and the approach to treatment should be just as unique. For example, depending on which elements dominate in a person's body, treatment methods were determined. For those with a hot nature, cooling remedies were used. But imagine giving such a remedy to someone with a cold nature, it could further exacerbate their condition. After all, as we know, excessive cold can lead to serious consequences. So for people with a cold nature, warming and moisturizing remedies were prescribed. This principle of opposites treating diseases with opposing properties was fundamental. It emphasized that each remedy should be chosen strictly individually. For example, a disease caused by an excess of moisture and cold was treated with substances that dry and warm. Conversely, if the disease was accompanied by cold and dryness, substances that create warmth and moisture were required. This approach ensured maximum treatment effectiveness and minimized the risk of side effects. An important aspect of ancient medicine was not only the individual nature of the patient, but also the conditions of their life. For example, climate, weather, and even geographical location could significantly impact a person's health. Imagine how differently the body can react to the same conditions in the tropics and in a cold northern area. These factors were always considered when prescribing treatment. This reminds us of the importance of a careful attitude to our health and the surrounding world. In ancient Tajik Persian medicine, there was a key principle: what is beneficial for one person may be harmful to another. This principle was not just a scientific discovery, but also natural knowledge passed down from generation to generation. The old healers knew that mistakes in choosing treatment could cost lives. The story we shared at the beginning of our video, a case with Captain Roland and his horse, is an example of this. A mistake in choosing the medicine led to tragic consequences. This is a vivid example of how important it is to carefully choose treatment. Ancient doctors classified substances into categories based on their properties: heating, cooling, moisturizing, and drying. But they didn't just divide them into these categories. They also considered the degree of expression of these properties. For example, one substance might be slightly heating, while another is strongly warming. This difference in the strength of action was very important for the correct prescription of treatment. To better understand how this worked, let's consider the example of plums and turnips. Plums have a cold nature in the first degree and a moist nature in the second. This means they gently cool and moisturize. Turnips, on the other hand, have a hot nature in the first stage of the second degree and a moist nature in the last stage of the first degree. This means they not only warm but also moisturize, although to a lesser extent than other substances. Another example is black pepper. Its nature is hot and dry in the last stage of the third degree. It is one of the most strongly warming and drying substances known in ancient medicine. Its properties were used with great caution to avoid causing excessive heating or drying of the body. In conclusion, we want to emphasize that the knowledge of ancient doctors is not just interesting, it is incredibly valuable for us even today. They teach us the importance of an individual approach to our health and a careful attitude to choosing treatment. In our time, when many medicines and treatment methods are available, it is important to remember that the right choice is the key to health and well-being. We hope this video has helped you better understand the importance of ancient knowledge and how it can aid us in our journey toward health and harmony. Be mindful of yourself and the world around you, and may the wisdom of the old doctors become a part of your life. This story about ancient health sciences shows how the diversity of cultures and knowledge brought people together in the quest for truth. In the next part, we will continue exploring the secrets of ancient medicine and reveal new fascinating facts that can help us today. Don't miss the continuation.